Hey guys, this is our first discussion. We are so excited. Welcome to Mother-Daughter Talk. I'm Imani.
I'm Cheryl, mother.
Yes, daughter. And we are ready to get started. So today, what are we going to talk to our subscribers about?
I was really thinking about talking about transitions that our children go through as, you know, you guys develop, you transition from childhood to teenager, to college, to young adult, and how a lot of times, as I used to tell you, that, you know, we parents have to adjust as well with you guys because we get so used to being in a parental role, and the type of parenting style I use on you was authoritative, because authoritative is allowing you to express yourself and nurture you, but not being overbearing and rigid to the point where you develop insecurity and low self-esteem, because that's eventually what it does. You'll grow up with a fear. I didn't want you to grow up with a fear of, I don't want to step out and do this, because if I don't do it right, because there's a lot of grown-up people who do grow up that way because they had an authoritarian type of parenting. So I always wanted to let you know that, you know, first of all, us parents are not perfect. We make mistakes. At the same time, we have to learn to adjust. So really, I thought about, you know, our journey and how as you develop and you matured and you know, grew up, as you change, I began to change and realize that I was becoming more of a consultant, more of a life coach, because now you're a young adult. So it's not the same where if you do something and I disagree with you and I'm like, come here, you know, stuff like that. So it's more like, well, and I, you know, I always wanted you to be a thinker. So I would ask you now more about, well, what did you think about that? How did you feel? You know, it becomes almost like a counselor-client type of relationship, but more of like a coach and a client type of relationship. So, and I'm glad about that. That's so great. And I'm glad that of the relationship that you and I have, when we can talk that way and then have those truth talk. Because one thing, like my mother used to always say to me, one day we got to have on the show, I always wanted you to be comfortable talking with me about anything. And I understand you have your peers. That's good. You need friends to talk to. I have my good girlfriends I can talk to, and each of my friends I may share different things with, but I wanted us to have that type of relationship as well, where you feel comfortable enough, because, you know, I'm not judgmental. Naturally, I used to always tell you, you know, parents of course going to be disappointed if you tell them something that they may not, you know, that maybe you deterred a certain, maybe something that you did and you don't think I'll be happy with. That's a natural reaction, you know, for us to be disappointed. But then again, there's an adjustment period where we have to kind of think, and, you know, like me personally being a Christian, I go to God and say, okay, Lord, how can I deal with this situation? You know, what's the best way to approach Imani about this? And I think that's just something that we got to realize that we can do, not to be too hard on myself or be too hard on you, but at the same time, you have to understand, because when you become a parent, that's when you get the aha moment. When you become a parent, you go, oh, this is what my mother must have been going through. and it makes you appreciate your parents more. Like, I appreciate my mother even more today, because I think about the trials and the struggles that she probably went through, and nights she probably cried and never shared it with us as children, because we always try to protect our children so they can grow up emotionally well adjusted. So that was really my focus as a parent with you.
Right, so transitioning basically, guys, you know, we grow up and things in our lives change, and sometimes we feel like, ooh, I'm not going to tell my mom or my dad that. Definitely not going to let them know about this. They're just going to find out later on. And I think it's natural, because you always, you know, you're going to do things you feel like will be disappointing, and so you're horrified of telling your parents. You can't imagine telling them, because you think, oh my gosh, I'm going to get in trouble. They're going to be so disappointed. They might disown me and kick me out the house. Everyone's parent is different, and everyone's mother is different, so I can't speak for everyone's situation. However, I think that it's important to at least try. You never know until you try. And I think as I've gotten older and just looking at our relationship, and also talking to friends of mine, when you share certain things with your parents, especially at an age of a young adult, you might be surprised to find out it's not like you're not 12 anymore. So it might not be, how dare you? Why would you do that? Why would you write? Oh, you're in punishment. You're grounded. It might actually be, okay, I'm here to listen. I'm here to learn. You know, your parents want to know how you are. They want to understand you. And so it's not always going to be a punishment, or, you know, or they're going to yell at you. And I know sometimes it can be kind of scary because you really don't know what to expect. But the thing is, if you keep everything bottled in and you never share it, then you don't necessarily have to express every little thing that happens in your life. But I know as I got older, I kind of wanted my mother to not only see me grow up and see how mature I have become and how independent, but I also wanted her to understand me, understand my mindset, so that way she can kind of feel like, okay, I've done the best I can do, and at least I know I put this foundation in her, and she can go about this way, versus a parent who's just like, I don't know what my child is thinking, I really can't tell you, what they're thinking or how they are. That's kind of uncomfortable. And I think it's really important to at least have a mutual understanding. You can be completely opposites. Me and my mother happen to have a lot of things in common, but then we also might disagree on certain things, and so that's natural. And I know for some mother-daughter relationships, they feel like they're completely different, they can't get along, nothing seems right. But sometimes just think about a certain topic, or maybe there's something that's been tugging on your heart and your spirit, and you're just like, nah, she wouldn't listen. But you never know, so don't give up in thinking that I don't want to share any of my truth. That's your mother. She birthed you, so she may not always tell you how she feels or show it. Sometimes you get caught up in life situations, but sometimes it feels good to hear from your child. And from our perspective, it feels good to hear from your parent. And it can create a stronger bond. It definitely can strengthen your bond. And you might feel better. And you might feel like, okay, I have a friend in my mother. Obviously, this is my mother. So there's a difference between mother and friend. But at the same time, I feel like we also have a friendship, because I consider my mother to be my best friend, because I know I can not only tell her things, and obviously I can trust her, but she's going to keep it real with me, and it's not just going to be, okay, yeah, sure. No, she's going to listen. She's going to give it to me straight up, but she's also not going to attack me. She's going to try and understand. She's going to be loving in her approach. And so I think it's really important, and it can be scary, but I just want to say from my own experience with us, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to speak up about how you feel or to share something that's happened in your life, because our parents are older than us, so they obviously have lived longer. They have a bit more wisdom, and you never know what you can learn. So
you made me think about growing up myself. My mother used to say, I've been in this world longer than you. And you probably hear that from me too, I don't know. But you said something earlier about, parents doing the best that they can do. And one thing I would tell parents as well is that when you know you've done the best you can do, learn to wash your hands of it. And hopefully, if you believe, you said, I'm going to give the rest over to God. Because, like I said, I didn't want to be hard on myself. If I know I did the best I can do, nurturing you, raising you up in the way that you should go, teaching you biblical principles, good values, all of that, then I know that I wouldn't judge myself as hard. I'm like, okay, well, I did the best I can do to prepare you for life as much as possible, especially before you went off into college. And that way I'm like, you know what? It's not that, because I think we'd feel more guilty if we didn't do, if I didn't teach you things that I know that I should teach you, then of course I feel a little guilty, like, wow, I didn't get to tell. But I didn't feel guilty. I feel like I did the best I can do. I taught you the basics and everything, and even got probably deeper. I know, a lot of times we don't like to hear our parents give little lectures, and you're like, ugh. However, I know that when you get older, you appreciate them. At the end of some of my videos, I want to do a little Q&A with Imani, and sometime we're going to do a Q&A with you as well. But I do want to ask you, can you think of something that you wanted to share with me in the past? And I want to know, how did you think I would respond to whatever you shared with me?
How did I think you would respond? Well, first of all, obviously with every situation, I would assume that you'd have a different response. But I guess to use an example, when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to have boyfriends. Obviously, as a kid, you don't even know what to do with one, or it's just like, it's pointless, because what is it? I like you. But I think when I shared with you that, I had these little childish relationships, or what I thought was a relationship, I didn't expect you to be so much angry, because one, I was like, it happened so long ago. But then two, because it didn't really mean anything, and it's not like I got into any trouble or, fell into any, bad habits. I don't know. I kind of went into it like, I don't really know how she's going to respond, but I'm pretty sure you're just going to be like, oh, okay, interesting to know. But yeah, I think with every situation it's different. But because of your temperament and who you are, I never expect it to be like an attack, or for you to just shut me down and shut me off and you not want to hear what I have to say. I think you want to hear what I have to say, because at least you know. instead of just not knowing at all. So yeah. So now my question for you would be, how did you feel using that as an example, or just other things that I've shared with you that may have happened when I was younger, or that I may have experienced when I was younger, but I'm telling you now.
I said, that little devil. No, I'm just kidding. No, when you told me about that particular thing, I just started thinking like, really? Okay. Is that right? And I think I might have said to, well, you already knew you couldn't have boyfriends. So of course I was like, they were little playboy friends. They wasn't really boyfriends. So that's really all. It wasn't much, because I know that you didn't tell me that you did anything with them, really, what I mean by did anything. So I just started thinking about it. Of course, I went back into my head when you started telling me maybe who it was. I was like, So of course, I'm picturing times when I saw them. I'm like,
she knows who you all are.
Rascal. But that was it, really. I was glad that you shared it with me, though. I was like, okay, because I appreciated that you shared it with me, and that we still continue to have that type of bond where you can feel comfortable enough to tell me. So I really appreciate you doing it. I thought that was mature. Because I remember when you told me we was out somewhere eating, I think at a restaurant or something.
Safe place.
Yeah. We was in West End Village, and you told me. I was like, okay, all right, interesting. Anything else you want to tell me? I might have said something like that.
Not yet.
Let's just get it out now. No, but that's good. That's good. Thanks for tuning in to Mother-Daughter Talk. And we just welcome you all. We hope you continue to follow us, subscribe to this channel. And you know what I want you to do? If you have any topics that you want us to kind of talk about and present, put it down in the comments section so we can go back and read your comments. And, give us ideas of something you would like us to kind of share and talk about and discuss.
Yeah, and anything we said, if it can apply to your life, you can go to your mom's room right now like, hey, Mom, I got a little something I want to tell you. Don't be afraid to do that. And please subscribe, like, share with your friends, your family. We look forward to sharing our creativity and our conversations with you. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Bye.